You know how fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast, so if you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Turn this off before you get butthurt and mad, start to cry, have to run to your safe space. All opinions are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any government agency. Welcome to MOTORCOP Chronicles podcast. The host, Iceman. This one's going to be a little bit different. I pre-recorded an episode over the weekend with Aaron. He's the host of I Had to Say It podcast. So we recorded together. So it's kind of his and mine together. And he's not law enforcement, but I listen to this guy. I really enjoy his podcast. He is a chef out in the Chicago, Illinois area. And like I said, I listen to him all the time, so we decided to get together and talk. It's going to be a two-part because when we started talking, it just went on for almost 2 hours, and I'm not going to put a 2-hour one out, so I'm just going to split it up. So I hope y'all enjoy it. If you get a chance, go over there, listen to him if you like him. Subscribe, like him, give him some, ratings and reviews. He's just a normal guy that just expresses his opinion. But there is I think I tell some stories, little short ones or something as we're talking. We kind of talk about everything. So sit back and I hope y'all enjoy it.
Episode of I Had to Say It. Today, joining me for the recording is the host of the MOTORCOP Chronicles, Iceman. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
So we'll take a couple seconds here. Why don't you tell everybody, a little bit about yourself and...
I have been a cop. We'll say cop. I don't care. That don't bother me. People say cop. I've been a law enforcement officer, a deputy sheriff for a long time. I started my reserve career in 1993 and went full time in 1995 until present day. So y'all can do the math. I've been a motorcycle cop for about 20 years of those now. So I have a lot of experience in it. And on my podcast, that's, I kind of talk about that, talk a lot about traffic stops that I make. And when I'm fortunate enough, I have guests on to talk about their stuff also.
Yep. And just for anybody that's curious, I listen on a regular. I've mentioned it before. I'm pretty sure I plugged it. It's on the list on the website. I enjoy the stories because between you and your guests and everything, it's amazing the amount of stupid people that are out there. And, it's refreshing to have somebody that's willing to call it like it is and say, yeah, look, you're a dumb son of a bitch, and that's why you're in this situation.
Stupid people.
I've never been somebody that's...
Stupid people keep me employed.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and I've never been one of those people. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, I've said it before. I'm sure you've probably heard. I had a whole episode where it was, there are some, shitty cops out there, just like every other line of work in the world. There are shitty people because y'all are still police officers are still people. And a lot of these motherfuckers forget that. And it really irritates the hell out of me when people are like, oh, well, cops this and cops that. It's like, no, they're still people. Don't be a shithead,
Yeah, we're not robots.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't act like an asshole, there's a really good chance you're not going to get treated like an asshole. And that's one of those things that, it bothers me when people are all, oh, well, every single one of them is the problem. Well, you got a problem with them saying every single one of y'all is a problem. And last I checked, y'all the motherfuckers that are doing something wrong.
That's just like saying any other person that does something, just because one person robs a bank, that don't make everybody else robbing the bank.
Yeah. So. Not that it, I mean, I'm sure some of us sometimes think about it, but That's a whole nother soapbox to get out.
I'd end up with one of them damn dye packs and run around pink or blue or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, that's I'm right there with you. I'd get 3 steps out the door and be like, pummel.
Yeah, I'm just thinking money would be nice, but yeah, the whole prison time thing kind of discourages.
Yeah,
it for me.
I've always said I'm too pretty for jail. I mean, not that I'm a pretty man by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm too pretty for that scenario.
Yeah, just this whole thing of that Deliverance music just popped into my head when you said that. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. Which is ironic. You bring up Deliverance, and now we got the big-headed banjo playing boy running the country.
Yeah, well, if you rub his legs in the pool during the summertime, the hair will sparkle and just dry and pop right back up. That's just a horrible thought right there. I mean, it's a sniffer in chief, but we'll be all right.
Yeah. 3 years, 2 months, 14 days.
Got it down to the minute.
But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't. Anybody that listens to me on a regular basis knows I don't play favorites. I think they're all fucking crooks. So,
well, it's just politician.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
I made a comment to somebody one time. I said, if I ran for office, they said you'll never get elected for anything. I'm like, why? They're like, you're not gonna. I said, but the problem is, my opinion. My problem is you have people that are politicians that keep running stuff. You need just a normal person to go up and to be able to run and win. A normal person, a person that works for a living, not that's been a politician for their entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody that lives in a really real world. That's like, fuck, am I going to have enough money to pay this damn electric bill this week? I mean, I remember, I'm older now. Thank God I'm farther along in my career. And I'll say, I make a decent living for myself and everything. But I remember back in my 20s and stuff, and it was paycheck to paycheck, It's like, shit. There any place that feeds us discounted while we're in uniform or something like that? Because I'm broke as a motherfucker, ain't got no money, and I'm hungry. But those people don't ever get elected to office.
No, well, that depends on who you ask. Because, God, what's her name?
No, it's just from Scranton, Ohio.
Yeah, no, that's but God, what's AOC? Like, I was a bartender and I was not getting anywhere in my life, and I'm from the people. It's like, no, you're dumb as shit. And I mean, she got elected because the right people put a name behind her. Said, "Oh, look, she's from the people." No, she's basically one step above a Muppet because Muppets are cute, and they don't and they don't realize that they're being controlled because they're made out of socks. Whereas she thinks she's cute and doesn't see the hand that's up her ass telling her what she should be saying to people. I don't know.
She's not real bright. No, she's not a bad. I mean, she's an attractive woman. She's just an idiot.
Yeah,
so, that somebody's personality stuff like that just can make you an ugly person.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's where I sit. I'm like, yeah, she was kind of cute the first time I saw her. Then she opened her mouth, and I was like, oh, fuck me.
Yeah, I'm of the people, but I just went to a $35,000 a person gala with a dress on that says "Tax the Rich." Do you realize that's all the people you were at the gala with? Because, I mean, if I had $35,000, I wouldn't spend it on food, a party. I'd be buying myself a new car or some shit like that.
Yeah, no doubt. I'd be putting part of it away to cover the taxes on it.
Yeah, something, but not a gala.
Yeah. And the best part is she tried to justify it when somebody said something to her about it. And she's like, well, it's normal for people from, the politicians normally go to this and we don't have to pay for it. I'm like, you really think the Met Gala is not getting that $35,000 a head? No, you're right. You don't have to pay for it. We're paying for it. No. I mean, I'm sure that is a bill back or a tax break in some manner.
The first thing that popped in my head when she said that was like, sounds like somebody's entitled. Sounds like some privilege going on over there. I want some of that privilege. I don't know. I couldn't hang out with them type of people anyway.
Yeah, no, I would be asked to leave very quickly if I was in that scenario.
Me and my wife don't go out much anymore because I just don't like people that much. And I got to deal with.
The reason we got along.
I got to deal with so many. I can't say assholes. I just got to deal with so many stupid people on a daily basis at work. I deal with it real. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of really nice people. But to be honest with you, in law enforcement, most of the people we meet are not the really nice, smart people, because that's not the people that call the cops or you get called to. You get called over to the stupid people, or people doing stupid shit, or people breaking the law. Like today, I had to help out at the courthouse. I was working courthouse security, and this lady, it was extremely. Oh God, it was so slow. I'd rather be busy than as slow as we were. Today dragged on forever. I'm sitting there, and where I got to check people in and out. You got everybody that comes in the courthouse. If you're not an employee that works in the courthouse somewhere, you have to be checked in. I got to print out a thing of where you're going. You got to put a sticker on your chest, all kind of shit. This lady walks up it's towards the end of the day, and she's like, "I'm here to pay and then for criminal probation." And I said, "Okay." I said, "What's your name?" I'm giving stuff. I said, "She's like, I was like, "Are you a criminal?" She just kind of looks at me, big eyes, and says, "Yeah, I think so." I'm like, okay. And I mean, I was just like making a joke, And I'm like, "Wow, you a criminal?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think so." Like, okay. Well, look, it's the third door down on the right down there. You enjoy yourself, Miss Criminal. It's like she just totally didn't know how to answer, and she just told me she was a criminal. So,
well, it's like, do you have to check this box when you fill out an application?
You get some. Yes, you so get some.
I can imagine. I saw on my way into work this morning. It was an interesting drive for me, and I was running a little behind, so I was going a little quickly. I mean, you wouldn't have pulled me over. I was maybe doing 5 over.
Oh no, I'm not gonna pull you. I'm an 11 mile an hour over guy. If you're doing 11 over in my jurisdiction, I will stop you and give you a ticket. And enjoy it.
You wouldn't have stopped me. I was doing 5 over. No, I'm never in that much of a hurry, particularly since I got ish in the description of when I got to be at work. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to be a few minutes late, but it's still around 9ish. I'm okay. So I was doing maybe 5 over on my way to work, and this guy in a BMW blew by me, and he was going for broke. I could tell he had something real important on his checklist of shit to get done today. And I can tell you he was late to wherever the hell he was going, because about 1.5 miles up the road, he was on the side of the road. He was out of the vehicle screaming and yelling at the officer that pulled him over. The officer that pulled him over wasn't even out of the car yet. This guy was out on the side. I was sitting there going, man, this might be on CNN tonight. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm sure that helped his case.
Oh, definitely.
When I have people get hollering and screaming at me on traffic stops, I hurry up and I'm just, or I'll just say, "Oh, I'm so sorry to inconvenience you, sir." You just go on and keep speeding and possibility killing yourself or somebody else. I am so sorry. Because I like it. I'll pull people over and they're like, it don't happen a whole lot, but I've had people that just look at me. It's like, I'm in a hurry. Well, obviously that's why you were speeding. But when you tell me that, if you look at me and tell me you're in a hurry, or can you hurry up? Yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. Going as fast as I can. When actually, no, I done slowed down to like tortoise speed at this point. Since you told me to hurry up. No. I'm gonna waste more time of yours now. If you'd have just shut the hell up, because now with an electronic ticket writer, I can have you gone within 1 minute and 50 seconds, that fast, with a ticket in your hand, with the door prize. And But if you look at me and tell me you're in a hurry or tell me to hurry up, I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to run every single thing on your car. I'm going to have to run you through the NCIC computer to make sure you're not wanted anywhere. Piss me off too much, I'm going to pull out a tread meter and I want to check the tread depth on your tires to make sure your tires are safe. People, don't be an asshole. I'm a traffic cop, okay? I get paid to write tickets. If you get pulled over by a cop, I didn't make the speed up, and I'm not picking on you, okay? I tell people all the time, because I do have, I'm so sorry, don't apologize. Everybody speeds. Every single person speeds. If Jesus Christ was still alive and on this planet, he would probably be speeding in a car. Everybody speeds. The odds are in your favor as a civilian, okay? The odds are in your favor. So you could speed 100 times. It's just that one time I'm going to catch you. So it's like gambling. You keep rolling the dice, you're eventually going to roll craps. And this happens to be crap day. And I got you on the side of the road. So don't be mad. Just take your ticket and go on. If you want to fight it, come to court. If you come to court, I love it. I love getting on a stand. Don't matter to me. I mean, I'm going to take you to court. Okay, what? I've been doing this longer than you've been alive, kid. Take me to court. I mean, it's no skin off my back.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I got pulled over for something. I mean, I know I got a snake eyes coming one of these days, but like you said, I mean, it's a crapshoot. But
5 mile an hour ain't really. I don't know. You got to be a total dick ass cop if you're getting pulled over for doing 5 miles an hour over.
Yeah, no, I don't worry about speeding. I'm more like one of those people where it's going to be like, you know why I pulled you over? And I'm going to go, no, really, actually, I don't. But please tell me so I can fix whatever the hell's wrong on my car.
Well, I don't do that. When I pull people over, it's not a test. It's not a pop quiz. When I pull you over, I tell you why I pulled you. I don't say, do you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, sir, the reason I pulled you over was blah, blah, blah. Your brake lights are out, or you fail to signal your speed. Do you have right now, I don't even ask for all stuff. Do you have your driver's license? Because if I'm not on a motorcycle and I'm on my unit, I've already run all your shit before I gotten out. But the electronic ticket writer scans everything and it pops everything up on me. So I'm like, I just ask for your driver's license. That's all I want. It will take a little bit longer when we have the people that hand me an international driver's license. For anybody that's listening, that it's not fucking real, okay? They buy these. The Hispanic people buy these somewheres. They're not real. So I can't run that. I got to hang it and put everything. Or they hand me a passport. Or they hand me something that is in a language that I do not speak. So now I'm sitting here trying to figure out, okay, this is his first name. What the hell is this right here? How you say that? I mean, I do know I pulled over Jesus and wrote him a ticket. His last name is Gonzalez, and he's from Guatemala. I'm just letting y'all know where he's at.
I think I might have hired him.
Oh, that's where he's at.
He might be in Chicago. No, I know what you're talking about with the international IDs, because when I was in a position like with my current job, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. We got HR for that. But when I was in a position where I did have to interview people and I'm, working as a chef, hiring cooks, that's a job that is notorious for having people that are here on questionable documentation. Let's put it that way.
That's what they call it, questionable documentation.
I'm trying to be nice because I might have to hire people again sometime.
Whereas being PC.
Well, I don't know about PC. Like I said, I'm just trying to not hurt anybody's feelings. So when I got to, do an interview and they're going, your voice sounds familiar.
That's a new one. You try not to hurt nobody's feelings. I listen to your podcast, remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, yeah, no. But when I got somebody coming in with some janky paperwork, and I've had this happen where I've had a conversation like, yeah, look, I'd love to hire you and your references all checked up, but this social security number says you're dead. Oh no! You put it in wrong.
Oh,
no! I ran it twice.
You see what happens? You see what happened was these are not my pants.
Yeah, and there's a son of a bitch. He told me it was good. I'm like, look, you're not supposed to admit that in front of me while I'm trying to hire you. Work with me here. And then, they're, oh, okay, we'll be back. I'll be back. No, they won't be back. I have never had a situation where I ran a social security number and it came back muerte, and the guy came back with the right number. So, and maybe I'm a little jaded, a little cynical, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, I do. That picture, that international driver's license, it doesn't even. It looks like it was made with crayons.
it's ridiculous. I used to just keep them. Like, all right, go on. They're like, look at me. It's like, you can't have this shit back. It's fake. It's not real. I used to have like a stack of them in my saddlebag on my motorcycle. I was like, I just had to stop. I'm like, it's not real. I actually had one. One of them called one time. 10 years ago, called my boss, and my boss called me and said, this person called and said you kept their ID. I said, who would that be? So, such and such. I said, yeah, I did. What are you doing keeping people's ID? I said, because it ain't real. What you mean? I said, it's an international driver's license. You kept his driver's license? I said, no, I kept his fake ID that he says is a driver's license that don't exist. He's like, oh. I'm like, so he can go buy another fake one somewhere else. I'm not giving it back. I mean, he actually called and complains I took his fake ID.
Yeah, I had a guy that, it was kind of a similar scenario. He brought in all the, fake social security card, fake ID. And I was trying to hire the guy because I was shorthanded, and I ran his paperwork and it came back dead. And he comes back like, well, can I get my stuff back? I'm like, look, I'm going to be real nice here. Since I already ran this, there's a chance that I will get audited and they will come ask if I seize this documentation or not. So no, you're not getting it back.
I think that's that guy that voted for Joe Biden.
that guy, possibility.
That guy, like, that's how it happens.
Yeah. Well, then I had another guy, same restaurant. Guy that was there when I took over the place, so he was there before me, and I wound up letting him go because he was swinging a little too much attitude because he didn't like the fact that the new guy got hired over him. He's like, man, I've been here for 2.5 years. Why are they going to make you the chef? And I was like, can you show me how to balance the food inventory so we're see how much money we're losing? What? That's why you're not the chef. Get back over there, make the salads, motherfucker.
Do you have a scale I got to balance that on?
Pretty much. So this guy winds up departing our services, and I get a phone call as a reference check. Now, the name they were reference checking was not how I was introduced to this guy, was not anything on his payroll information, and nothing lined up. I had to ask who the hell they were talking about. And one of my other cooks was like, oh, that's Harrison, boss. I'm like, Harrison? Why are they saying his name is, I can't, it was like Jorge or something. And I'm like, what? Oh, no, that's just what we call him. The fuck? I saw his payroll. No, that's not just what we call him. I had to sign off on his hours every week.
This is what he's calling himself now.
That's just what he calls himself now. But, again, unfortunately, it's kind of one of those, open secrets of the food service industry.
Is that a Mexican restaurant?
No, actually, it was. But on the other hand, it's like the old joke, you go to an authentic Italian restaurant in downtown New York, you're going to have food made by a bunch of guys from Puerto Rico.
Well, we got a place not far from us. It's like a Mexican store, and it's they got like a little food truck out there, but it's like actual authentic Mexican food, like they eat it in their country. And if you get it, because the guy that owned the store, he's actually an American. He married a woman that's Hispanic and stuff like that. And because first time, I mean, he's a cool guy. I know the guy and everything else. And I got some food there. He's like, hold on, before you eat it, I'm letting you know, it's not what you think. It is not like Tex-Mex or American type Mexican food. He said this is, and he was right. I mean, if you just get it and just think it's getting something you're getting from a Mexican restaurant, you're going to be totally not the same at all. Because the authentic Mexican food tastes totally different than the commercialized part of it. That's like if you go to like Chinese food, I'm pretty sure they don't eat sweet and sour pork and sesame chicken over there. I think they eat a lot of fish and rice. Is what they eat.
Yeah, that's definitely true. A lot of the guys I used to work with more when I was doing restaurants than once I got into like corporate services. But when I was back in my restaurant phase, I'd go go have dinner at one of my guys' houses. Hey, chef, you want to come over? Yeah, sure. Why not? What's going on? Oh, we're having a cookout. And man, if the food was fantastic, but never what you expect. But I got that's the first time I had goat.
I've had goat. No, I mean, I just wasn't a fan of it. It wasn't bad. I just found it a little gamey.
It is. It's definitely a little gamey, but I didn't know what I was eating because they're like, oh, yeah, we're having barbacoa. I'm like, oh, barbecue. Okay, cool. And then what you think? Oh, that's a goat. Okay. It's not bad.
Well, I had lived in Salt Lake City, Utah for a short period. I was working up there. It was right out of high school and stuff like that. Right after I finished doing college, it was for a very short period. But anyway, I was had a roommate with this guy. I don't remember he was an Islander. He was an immigrant, but he was an Islander. He was like he wasn't Samoa, but it was like that because this dude was ginormous. Okay, this was a big giant. I mean, this dude was. I'm not a small guy. I'm not giant, but I'm not small. But this guy was giant. But anyway, I didn't know anybody, so he just brought me around with all his people, and so I was around a bunch of other Islanders. We went somewhere one time. He's like, "Oh, look, they cooked. We got soup and stuff like that." And I went over there, and and I'm not a big soup eater as it is. I'm still not a big soup eater. I like scooped the big ladle out to get it, and when it came up, there was like it was a fish head, and it like the eyeball was looking at me like it was the last look this fish had on his face as it died as they chopped his head off and put him in this soup. You know, I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, oh fuck! I mean, I can't eat it. I've eaten a lot of stuff, but I'm not eating this fish head. This is like gross. But so yeah, fish head soup. Now I've eaten cow tongue quite a few times. If a cow tongue is cooked correctly, it is very good because it's a big chunk of meat. As long as they get them tendons out the bottom of it. If you bite into
you got to clean the hell out of that stuff.
If you get a hold to a cow tongue and you bite into it, it's got that hard crunch. You just got a tendon, and you're not going to chew that tendon up. Trust me, you're going to be spitting it out.
Yeah,
but cow tongue is good once it's done right. I've had raccoon before. Which you got to know how to cook too. This woman did know how to cook it, and it was good. But I've eaten raccoon before.
Yeah.
I've eaten snake.
I don't like snake. It's too many bones.
Yeah, it's very bony. But I've had snake. I've been shark. I've eaten shark. Shark was actually really good. It's really white, very white fish meat.
Shark is delicious. That's one of those things. Like in my family, my dad was the cook when I was growing up because my mom, bless her heart, that woman will burn water. She couldn't cook 40 years ago. She can't cook today. And so my dad used to make the vast majority of my meals when I was a kid. And he grew up in the Pacific. He was a Navy brat. And he grew up in like Guam and Hawaii and the Philippines. But that's... My grandpa on that side is the one that's from Louisiana, and that side of the family is all down your neck of the woods. So my dad grew up eating food cooked by a Cajun that was made with Pacific ingredients, and then I grew up eating the stuff my dad knew how to make. So I grew up eating things like shark steak and you know, we'd have gumbo and andouille and crawfish boils and. You know, we'd have family members sending us packages with like boudin and all this other stuff.
Oh, I love boudin. They sell that, but they sell boudin at the freaking gas stations here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like,
I don't know how good you have it. If there was somebody around here doing that, I would be there at least twice a week because that shit makes me happy.
Whenever I go out to write overtime writing tickets, near state stuff. they had this truck stop. I'm not gonna say the name of it because it would give where I work at. But anyways, a truck stop. I stop and I refuel. Because right there, buddy, I refuel, top off my tanks. I go inside. I usually go pee, and and I go inside. And these people, I mean, they give us, they have like a hot box there, and I'm like, I get a hot sausage and with no bun, and I get a link of boudin every time. They just like give it to you. They don't charge you for it. It's like cool. So I mean, I love boudin. If anybody listen out there don't know what boudin is, go look it up. It is deliciousness.
Yeah,
especially if it's done old school and it's actually in the intestines, not
in the proper casing.
Yes.
And
yes,
yeah, that's. Man, maybe I'll call my aunt up tomorrow.
Yeah, got you.
Now I'm thinking I'm gonna be like,
about it,
Aunt Janice, what you doing today?
I mean,
who's your favorite nephew?
I mean, I'm be glad when wintertime's over, some crawfish season rolls back around. I don't know if you have TikTok.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Have you ever looked at my TikTok account?
Probably not. I'm never on it. I just signed up last week.
Well,
so
if you get a chance, go. It's just MOTORCOP Chronicles. I don't know if it's podcast, whatever. MOTORCOP.
I'm sure I can find it.
Yeah. If you go in there, there's a thing on there called the Bayou Bucket. It was bought locally in an area in Louisiana here. It's a 5-gallon plastic bucket. These people that make it, they take like a hot water heater element and they drill a hole inside of it and they mount this hot water heater element inside the bottom of the bucket, and you just plug it in the wall. You put 2 gallons of water in it, and you can like boil seafood in it. And on one of my TikTok videos on there, if you go look at it, I did a whole little shrimp boil over here. That if anybody ever listened to me on the other ones, the Asian lover was here. One of my guests, he's from Florida. He comes out. I did potatoes, I did corn, I did sausage, hot dogs, and 7 pounds of shrimp I boiled in this bucket on my countertop. Okay, in a plastic bucket. No, it did not melt the bucket. You can watch the video, but it worked great. I didn't have to pull out the big pot. I didn't have to pull out the propane. I didn't do all that stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds so much easier.
I did it inside, all my seasoning and everything else, and I just go outside the water hose and rinse it out. It's freaking phenomenal. And the top of the bucket is like they put drain holes in it, so your top of the bucket is screwed on. You just go outside or whatever, you sink or whatever, and just dump all the water out of it when you're finished cooking, and just get your food out of it.
I may have to pick one of those. I don't know. I was gonna say I'm starting to talk like I'm gonna go look that up and buy it.
You can have it shipped.
Aaron had to have a little rational sense kick in here and say, I'm already in trouble for the amount of kitchen shit I have in the house. That's one of those things about me. My wife puts up with a lot in terms of putting up with me. And currently I have a 3-shelf rack we've got like a storeroom kind of room in the basement. And it's 3 shelves, all of kitchen shit. I got like 3 different coffee pots. I got, a couple of waffle makers, about 24 pots and pans, vacuum sealers, sous vide cooker, dehydrators. It ties into the whole being a chef thing to a little bit, and to the part that I just can't say no to when I find something that's kind of cool. So, and if it's reasonably priced. Yeah,
I got 2. I did buy myself. I think it was about 2 years ago. But we have I don't know if y'all have them out there. It's this little store. It's called Ollie's. It's kind of like a discount, outlet store. It's stuff like kind of like a Big Lots. I don't know if y'all have those either. But it's like when stores.
We got Big Lots, but yeah.
Well, Big Lot is something like a Big Lots, but it's in Ollie's. And it's like they buy stuff from stores that are going out of business or whatever, and they sell it. But a couple of years ago, they had these 8-tray, like, big dehydrators. And for like $100, so I bought 2 of them. And I just make beef jerky out of them. I just use them to make beef jerky. That's all I do. I'll go out and buy.
Yeah.
I buy my meat, and and they actually had like the big commercial meat slicers for like $89 on sale. And it works really good because I almost cut the tip of my finger off with it, and it hurt really bad, and I was bleeding. So but I take it and I slice all my meat. I use eye of the round, but I slice all my meat real thin, and I marinate it, and I dehydrate it, and I can do like 10 pounds of meat at one time with these two dehydrators.
It sounds about right, because I got one of the 8-rack dehydrators, and I can do about 5 pounds of the crack. So.
But that's all I use it for is make beef jerky, though.
Yeah, I do beef jerky, and then I got a smaller dehydrator, and that one's for like fruit and herbs and all that kind of stuff, because we got a pretty big garden, so I'll do like mint and sage and oregano and basil and thyme. And
see, that's all this chef stuff coming out. I just want to eat meat.
No. That stuff goes with the meat.
Oh,
enhances the meat.
Well, I use if you ever want to make jerky and have everybody that's eating it thinks so. Allegro is a marinade.
Okay.
Allegro Tennessee whiskey marinade.
All right.
It is the most amazing beef jerky flavor you've ever had.
All right, I'll give her a crack. Why not?
I ought to have Allegro up there, I'm sure, huh?
Oh, I'm probably. I'll have to actively look, because honestly, that's one of those things I just make my own. So it's like.
So that's why he's a chef. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a side effect of being me, I guess, but. And it's fun too, because I can play with it a little bit. Like I did a batch with Crown Vanilla as the whiskey in the marinade. Because if I make beef jerky, there's always some sort of whiskey in it, because there has to be.
Whiskey is great. I love whiskey.
Yeah, me too.
I actually have. Well, y'all can't see it, but in my cup that my wife made, MOTORCOP Chronicles podcast tumbler cup.
Yeah,
we will sell them to you.
These days.
And but I have, as I say, they need to sponsor me since I talk about them so much. Though I have my Old Smoky Salted Watermelon whiskey in here with my little mix I do.
I'll actually be picking some of that up tomorrow. They're holding it for me at the liquor store up the street.
The Old Smoky
salted watermelon. Yeah,
you had the ingredients I had. I said mix it with.
No, actually, why don't you tell everybody, because I know it's the watermelon soda.
Yeah, I use a full size Yeti cup. I don't try to get drunk, but you can use more shots if you want. I fill it up with ice. I put 2 to 3 shots of the whiskey, 1 shot of sour mix, probably about 4 you use shots, or I just eyeball now. I use Walmart has it here. I'm not sure if y'all's that, but it's a watermelon flavored cranberry juice.
The Ocean Spray.
I'm not sure what the brand.
Great Value or whatever.
I don't know. It's only one brand that makes it, but it's whoa.
Is it the white cranberry with the watermelon flavor?
No, it just says watermelon flavored cranberry juice.
Well, I don't know.
Sure.
I'll have to look.
It's the only watermelon flavored cranberry juice out there. But I use that, and then I top it off with the watermelon flavored soda pop, the Crush, or is what we have out here. And I stir it up, and it tastes like a Jolly Rancher, a watermelon Jolly Rancher. You can't even taste the hint of whiskey in it, even if you do 3 or 4 shots.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie. It's because of you that I saw that the liquor store up the street from me. I went in there a couple weeks ago for my birthday, and because a buddy of mine's birthday is the day before mine, and I was going to stop by and visit him, and so I stopped to get him a little pint of tequila, just like, hey, happy birthday, here you go. And while I was in there, they had the whole Old Smoky section. They had all the flavors except for the root beer.
Yeah, root beer is hard to find. I got my hand on 2/5. I'm down to about half of one left, and I did it with the cream soda. It was okay. Now I haven't. I'm gonna have to get some more before I try it with the ice cream. But right now, I just been mixing it with root beer, like the mug root beer, regular. And it's like drinking alcoholic root beer, or
that works.
do the peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter flavored Old Smoky. Now they have several other ones. They got someone Law Dog or something like that. When they have it's okay, and they have several different ones. The best peanut butter flavor I found was the Old Smoky.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
But you can use that with cranberry juice or grape cranberry juice. Do not use straight grape juice thinking it's going to be like grape jelly, because grape juice is so sweet with the whiskey. It to me, it's unbearable. It's just too sweet.
Yes.
Now,
Yeah. I don't think I could do too sweet. That would
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Or
But
would also like it is the root beer. I mean, not root beer, the peanut butter whiskey with the blueberry Red Bull. Ooh. That was good too.
Yeah. Well, actually, the only reason I didn't get the watermelon back on my birthday was because I was going through the list and they had one bottle of the butter pecan Old Smoky.
Haven't tried that one yet. Was it the whiskey or the sipping cream?
It's the sipping cream.
Oh, that's dangerous too. See, I call that way back in my early podcast. This stuff is so delicious. I call it unicorn titty milk because this stuff it's a cream. It's a sipping cream. It's so good. It would be like sucking milk out of a unicorn titty. That's how good it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm generally not real big on sweet type stuff. Just maybe it's just because of how bitter I am by nature, but this, that stuff's good, but it's dangerous.
Oh, it's extremely dangerous. But like I said, I call that unicorn titty milk.
Yeah, well, I found out I really like it in a cup of coffee.
Oh, I didn't try that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, honestly, it's a bad habit I got into when I was laid off for like 8 months. I ain't got nothing else to do today. I'm still on furlough because I could only look so hard for a job because I didn't want to lose my furlough status because I was like my old company kept my insurance active.
That's it. That's important.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I have to be available in case they're going to call me into work, but they also guaranteed me a day's notice. So I was like, well, I can't go out and look real hard for a job today, and it's 6:30 in the morning. I put a little splash of this in my coffee, and I'll go sit down and record a podcast or something. And so that I kind of got to be a little like, well, a little kick in the coffee if I don't have anything else planned for the day. Yes, I'm not hurting anybody. Take a nap around 11:30.
Sipping cream is good. If y'all haven't tried it,
yeah. So I was like, okay, I have to be available in case they're going to call me into work, but they also guaranteed me a day's notice. So I was like, well, I can't go out and look real hard for a job today, and it's 6:30 in the morning. I put a little splash of this in my coffee, and I'll go sit down and record a podcast or something. And so I kind of got to be a little like, well, a little kick in the coffee if I don't have anything else planned for the day. Yes, I'm not hurting anybody. Take a nap around 11:30.
Sipping cream is good. If y'all haven't tried it, give it a shot. Even the ladies like it.
Yeah, it's My wife was like, "Ooh, this is good." And I'm like, "Don't get any ideas, woman." But like I said, I got to go back to the store now. So
I like the salty caramel with Coke. I like a lot of the Old Smoky stuff. They got good stuff.
Yeah. Although, have you seen that blue one they got?
Oh, I ain't seen no blue one.
Oh, that shit is evil. My son is 22 now, and on his 21st birthday, one of his friends gave him a bottle of this. It's like Blue Flame Old Smoky. This shit is basically kerosene. It's like 182 proof or something like that.
It sounds like diesel fuel.
Oh yeah, no, it is brutal. My son was like, "Hey, check it out! Look what I got." He's like, "Hey, you want to do a shot?" And I was like, "Well, it's your birthday. Okay, I'll do a shot with you." And he poured it up and poured himself one, and we toasted. And I went to shoot it back, and he just stood there, and he didn't drink his, and I wasn't paying enough attention where I didn't notice. So I shot that. It was like somebody punched me in my chest.
Yeah, I got that some 190.
And
diesel.
He went.
I got some 190 diesel here. You can take a cap full of this shit and just take the cap full, and you swear to God your insides are burning up. But what's bad when on the top of the label, on the neck of the bottle, it says "Warning: Keep away from open flames." Because it's highly flammable, but it's like one little. I gave some to my daughter. I'm like, here. I said, just shoot this little cap full. She did it. She took off running, screaming, and hollering cuss words and all kind of stuff like that. And I think "I hate you" came out of her mouth a few times and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not. I don't know what they do with that stuff, but it's not made for drinking. Running your lawnmower, starting fires. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean. Well, I got a bottle of 190 proof Everclear too, and that's not for drinking. That's that is in the cabinet. I was grateful when everybody was going all stupid for trying to get hand sanitizer and everything. I was like, well, if worse comes to worse, I got that bottle of Everclear in the liquor cabinet. I could make some sanitizer.
That almost sounds like that.
I literally have it for lighting shit on fire when I'm cooking. That's the only purpose it serves.
So, we're talking about alcohol, washing your hands with it. It made me think one of our episodes, a couple back, me and Holster, we're talking about the guy that picked up all the flags, 3,000 American flags.
Oh, yeah.
And we said that dude, we threw a picture of him up on the live stream, and this dude's so ugly. And it was like, I think Holster was like, I still think about it. Fucking hilarious. He's like, that dude's got to soak his hand in whiskey just to make it beat himself off because it's gonna make his hand drunk. He's got to get his own hand drunk to masturbate. That's so bad.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It's like, if anybody ever, your listeners do want to listen, we do every Wednesday. We do live streams on Facebook and YouTube. Same name. And those are just we pick out news stories, mostly cop related. We read the story and then give our unfiltered opinion on it, and it's all unedited too. So you're more than welcome to come watch and listen and interact.
Yeah, it's definitely entertaining. Like I said, I listen to it on a regular, and sometimes I get weird looks because I'm laughing to myself, and people, what's so funny? And it doesn't help any that I got my headphones when I'm at work and stuff. I got the bone conduction ones, so they're really just up on the top of my head, outside of my ears. And so it's not real obvious because I can still hear people talking to me and everything. So it's not real obvious I'm not paying very good attention. And then I'll be sitting there and all of a sudden I'll start laughing and like, you laughing at me? No. I forgot to turn my phone off while you were talking. That's all.
Kind of like one of the things when you sitting there and somebody starts talking, you turn around and answer them, but they were on the phone, not talking to you.
Yeah, I've done that more than once too. It's one of those things where, like I said, we're kind of on a skeleton crew at work. So it's like there's not a lot of people around. So I'll hear somebody coming and they're talking all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, hey, somebody to talk to. Hi, friend. And nope, they're on their phone walking around,
Yeah, they don't want to talk to you.
Like, you got a desk. Why don't you go stay at your desk while you're on the phone? I got all excited, thought I was going to have a friend today.
I got a work buddy.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I got a pretty solid work environment, and I get along with, pretty much everybody in there so far. Now, granted, they've been on skeleton crew since I got hired, so I'm sure I haven't met everybody yet, but so far it's a pretty good bunch.
A lot of times when I'm at work, most people want to come talk to me, or people I really don't want to talk to. I was out at the funeral today, and this old lady drives past and stops and rolls her window down, and I look at her, I'm like, yes, ma'am, can I help you? And she says something, and I couldn't hear, so I went closer, and she said, who's at that day burying today? I'm like, I have no clue. I mean,
ma'am, I just work here.
I mean, I get called saying, hey, we got an escort going from this location at this time. I have no clue who I died. I'm thinking, why? Do you want to know where the after party is? Because usually, it's kind of like a wedding. People really don't show up for the wedding. They just show up for the party. Where's the funeral food at?
Yeah, I got to be honest. I never understood the people that really wanted to be at the funeral, because going back to when I was a young fella, and I actually went to Catholic school, and I was an altar boy, and I got tapped to do the funerals a lot for some reason, and I never understood, because there'd be random old people that were at literally every funeral in the place, and I'd be like, I know you don't know everybody.
Well, I remember my grandparents used to I guess I don't know what happens when you get to a certain age, they start reading the obituaries.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to they're like, my grandpa's like, you'll do it one day when all your friends are dying. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's just a morbid thought, but
yeah.
Fuck. It reminds me of a story. I don't know if I've ever told this before. Me and one of my buddies, he's not in motors anymore. He's a training officer at the department he's working at. We don't work together anymore. But there was way back in the day when I was in motors, we were at this funeral, and I don't know how they do stuff there. I just assume, but usually at funerals they have food, and then after that everybody goes to somebody's house or something, and they have even more food. But they always
Sounds
have
about right.
With funeral food. They have food at funeral. We were at this service and we were waiting, and the people's like, "Oh, we got food inside if y'all want some." Well, me and my buddy have this. I don't know why, but we both, for some reason, have the same thing that we extremely love, probably way too much, or the finger sandwiches with the crust cut off. Well, they had 2 brand new trays of these finger sandwiches. Well, next thing, the guy that was our supervisor at the time, he comes inside because they're getting ready to leave, and he walks inside and he's like, "Come on, we're ready to go." And he looked over, he says, "Jesus Christ." We're like, "What?" He's like, "You greedy motherfuckers ate the whole entire fucking tray of finger sandwiches." They said we could have some. They said, we ate the entire, one whole tray was gone. He's like, get the hell out of there. Y'all can't eat half them people's food. I can't help myself. I mean, I probably ate 15 sandwiches, but me and this one guy ate the entire tray of finger sandwiches. I hope they wasn't having a party because they were going to be half their food. But yeah, our supervisor was like,
Lord.
"It's like, what the hell's wrong with you bastards? Y'all ain't." They said we could have some. They said some, didn't eat all of them.
Oh Lord.
I don't know. It's just, I'm still that way. My mother-in-law, not long ago, when I got COVID, and I was sick, she went to the store and they showed up and they had me a tray of finger sandwiches because they know how much I love finger sandwiches. I just love them.
Yeah, my wife. That's one of the things she can make. Bless her little heart, she tries. Most of the she's gotten way better. When we first met, she could not cook a lick. When I met her best friend, who had moved away, she came back for our wedding. She was maid of honor in our wedding, and I met her. And literally, one of the first things she said to me was, "It makes so much sense she's marrying you." And I said, "What's that supposed to mean? I mean, this is the first time we met. What do you know that I don't know?" And she's like, "Well, you're a chef, right?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "You know how that girl eats?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "She can't cook, right?" I was like,
"What?"
"Yeah." I guess you're right. It makes sense she's marrying me. And but yeah, she does make a pretty wicked little. She gets the little mini rye breads and makes finger sandwiches on those, and those are pretty on point.
She makes a wicked she makes a wicked bowl of raviolis.
Well, like I said, she's gotten better. I mean, it took almost 20 years, but she's gotten better.
Well, my same buddy, speaking of, I remember when he got divorced, this dude could not cook. I don't know if he can really cook now. This dude could not cook a lick. we were talking about something one time, and he said something about frying the turkey in water. Because we do fried turkeys down here for Thanksgiving. I'm sure everybody does. But he's like, he started talking about frying his turkey in water, and we're like, what? It's like, what'd you say? He's like, well, fry that turkey and fry in water. I'm like, dude, you can't fry a turkey in water. Yeah, you get the pot. And it's like, that's called boiling. You're boiling the fucking turkey. You need grease. You need oil to fry the turkey. He wanted to fry a turkey in water. He's gonna have a boiled fucking turkey. You know how nasty that is.
Yeah, I do.
He was
that's soup.
He was dead serious. It was like, dude, and he's like, we still pick on him today about it. But I mean, because
I'm gonna fry a turkey in some water.
Yeah. It's something you ever saying something and you just like say something and you just happen to make up a word for it or something and you thought it was a real word or something. We had a guy one time we were talking about a crash. He's like, yeah. And he said, I think the car lost gription. We're like, what?
What?
Grip. He said, yeah, the car lost gription and went sliding. We're like, talking about like traction, but. Yep, so that's just a thing now. We still say that today. We're like, yeah,
still gription.
Yeah, it lost gription and just went into a slide, Or,
I mean, that kind of makes sense.
And, when you're told rewrite that narrative, you can't put that in your narrative on the report. It's like we had one guy, the ticket master guy. He's retired. Still trying to get him on. He's like, oh, but I want him to come on and talk about his crashes. This dude here comes on. This dude, we don't even know how he's alive. I mean, probably 50, 60% of his face is titanium now from a motorcycle crash. But,
geez,
in one of his narratives, he's like, you can't put that in a report. He's like, why the hell not? It's his officer's opinion. He says, you cannot put down the subject, how do you put it right away? He said, oh, the subject ran into the back of the big yellow school bus because he must have not have seen it. It's like, well, that's what happened. He's a fucking idiot. He ran into the back of a stopped school bus. How can you not see the back of a stopped school bus? Oh, this is the same guy that got called in office because he used to have a thing with him about if he pulled a juvenile over, you can try not to write him a ticket, but he was like, he'd ask them what their grades were, and if they had bad grades, he'd like, give them a little, lecture or something like that. And this one time he pulled this kid over for speeding, and he's like, what kind of grades you got, son? He's like, I got D's and, F's. He's like, maybe if you wasn't out here driving around like you were retarded or something and doing your studying, maybe you wouldn't have bad grades. We're going to find out this kid was like in special ed class or some shit like that.
Oh, Jesus.
It like really upset him, and he went home and told his mom that the cop called him retarded and stuff like that. Next thing you know, he done got called in the sheriff's office. Like, you call this kid retarded? He's like, well, not technically. I said, maybe if he wasn't driving around like he was retarded, maybe. Like, well, like he semi is. I was like, oh, my bad. It's like, oops. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, that one, that won't make you any friends these days.
What, that word? I mean, I don't know. Retardation, I think, is still in the dictionary.
Well, it still is. I'm not saying it should be something you can't say. I'm just saying back then he got a scolding. Now they'd probably,
Oh, well, I had to.
He'd get an administrative vacation, to say the least.
Oh, he'd probably be on CNN now. I mean,
yeah.
Yes, when I started policing in the 90s to where we at now in 2021, I had to relearn how to police because the way I was taught and used to do police work, if we did it the same way we used to, I'm not saying we just went out and beat the shit out of people and stuff, but the way we talked to people, and it was a whole different culture back then than what it is now. I mean, I ended up arresting this bad guy one time, and he got very physical. He was resisting and stuff. Needless to say, he ended up with 2 or 3 bruised ribs and some stuff like that. And the next day he was in jail. The investigator, public defender, whatever, showed up. Next day, he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, he was black and blue. We were in a tussle, and they asked him. They straight up asked him, "You want to file a report against me? Basically, you want to file a report against me? The officer for doing this?" He's like, "Nah." He's like, "I deserved it. I started it."
Hey.
Do you think that shit gonna happen now? No.
Oh no. Now it's I want to write a report against him. I want to report against his boss.
Yeah.
So I want to write a report against his mama.
But he's like, I started it. It was my fault. So but that's just, so I had to relearn, basically, teach an old dog new tricks from. It's just a whole different world than what it used to be.
Yeah, and honestly, it ain't all for the better.
Oh, no. I believe with the podcast, I have a podcast and stuff like that, but believe, to me, back in the day, everything seemed like it moved slower. It was just people respected each other more and all this other shit. Now with all this social media and you got these big tech giants controlling everything. It's just going to shit.
Yeah, well, you've listened to the show. You know where I stand on it. It's like, yeah, y'all want a whole lot of respect for not willing to give any.
Yeah. You got to give
all
it
these
to
assholes. And they're entitled. They think they deserve shit without earning shit.
Well, kids today think that when they graduate college, whatever degree they get and wokeness or whatever, they think when they go get a job, they should automatically get the corner office with the view. Just because
Episode of I Had to Say It Today. Joining me for the recording is the host of the MOTORCOP Chronicles, Iceman. Welcome to the show. Yeah, to be fair, I got a pretty solid work environment, and I get along with, pretty much everybody in there so far. Now, great
top. So.
Yeah, that's one of those consequences and never learning how to lose when you're playing Little League.
That's right. Everybody gets a trophy.
Everybody gets a trophy. We're all winners. We all deserve a corner office and a secretary with no gag reflex and flexible morals.
Yeah, they just don't get it nowadays.
Yeah,
I guess I'm just really old now. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I am inclined to agree. There are some things that are a little better, maybe now than they were then. I'd like to think to a certain extent, like I look at my kid and he's a lot more forgiving of the little shit, the shit that really don't matter. And I'm proud of the young man my son has become because he's got a work ethic like I haven't seen in, years. That kid, if he wants something, he goes out, he busts his ass until he can get it. And, like I said, I'm really proud of the kid.
Oh, sounds like you need to be because it's not what a lot of them have anymore.
Yeah. Not to say he's perfect, he's kind of an ass. I know that's hard to believe, being raised by me that somebody would come out and be kind of an ass, but
what's that old saying that the apple don't fall far from the tree?
Yeah, well, he's definitely got no problem telling you what's on his mind, and But like I said, for all that, he's a good kid, and he'll go out and work his ass off if he wants something, and like I say, he don't get hung up on the small shit. He whatever it is, if it ain't directly impacting him, he doesn't care. You want to go do that dumb shit? Okay, you're doing it on your own time. Don't expect me to go do dumb shit with you, but have fun. And like I said, he's a good kid. I'm proud of him.
You lucked out. Well, I will say one thing, Aaron. See, he's one of the lucky ones because he actually knows what I look like now. There's so many of you out there that do listen on my platform, stuff that don't know. If any with Aaron's people listening, I'm stay anonymous. I don't use my real name, and when I am live, I keep my face covered with a mask or a gaiter or something like that. Because my boss, I do work for a sheriff's office. I'm still active duty, and my boss allows me to do this, which is really rare in law enforcement that I'm allowed to do what I do a podcast and say the stuff I say and stuff like that. And, you know, I work for a sheriff's office, so I work for the leisure him, and he allows me to do it, but I stay anonymous and I don't say where I work and stuff like that. So he is one of the few people that's got to see what I look like without having my face covered up.
Ha! I'm special.
He's special. He's so special.
And not the way they used to put on my report cards. I'm the good kind of special now.
It's like he rode the short bus to school.
No, I never got to ride the bus, actually. I had to get a ride from Mom and Dad. We lived too far away from the school.
We rode the cheese box.
Yeah. And then once I got older, I bought a car and was like, yeah, no more of this shit. But
I could go and talk about that forever too. These kids now, they don't care if they get their driver's license or not anymore. That was only I'll free them.
Yeah, no, I had to convince my son. That's one thing. I mean, he's, like I said, he's better now. He's 22 now. But when he was like 16, he had no desire to get his driver's license. I was like, boy, I'm tired of hauling your ass around. You are going to get your driver's license. Well, I don't want to pay for insurance. I said, I will pay for your insurance until you get your own car. When you get your own car, you can pay for your own insurance.
Insurance
I'm
is
tired
expensive.
of driving you. Oh yeah, especially for a teenage boy. That shit was expensive.
Oh yeah. Why don't you, from my side of it, since we're commingling, tell some people about your podcast real fast.
Alrighty. Well, my podcast is called I Had to Say It. It is basically, let's call it societal commentary. It is whatever random thoughts happen to be rolling around inside my head. It comes out weekly on Tuesdays. And it can be anything from talking about whatever's going on in the world, sports, news, a lot of bitching about people not having common sense and doing stupid things. It is, I try and deliver it with a little bit of wit, a little bit of lightheartedness, a little bit of humor. And, it's very similar to, you get what's on my mind. It's raw. It's unfiltered. It is me, being, myself, the be all, the end all, it is what it is. It's one of those things. I'm very much what you see is what you get with me. And that is the long and the short of it. So,
All right, I'm back. I've been drinking whiskey. I had to go take care of some of it.
That happens.
For my listeners, I listen there, and every week I look forward to his stuff. I wish I could remember how I came across him. I've been listening.
That's a good question.
I've been listening for a while. I don't know. I think it was on Twitter or something. I'm not real active on Twitter, but I think
it's possible.
I think I came across your podcast. I think we both belong to some same group on Twitter, some podcast group.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I'm in a few of them.
And I saw your podcast on there. And when I see different ones, I'll go to them and listen. I listened to the first one. I've been listening ever since. So, but because I'll be honest, I'm like, oh, I don't remember names, but there's some, I've went and I was like, oh, let me check it out. And I'm like, I couldn't get through a whole episode, or I'm like, it's just not for me or something like that. I mean, I was trying to down it on nobody, because I'm sure there's people that click on me and like, I can't listen to this shit and go on. But it's like, there's some that, and I like listening. I think you call them the indie podcast. We're independent podcaster.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I listen to probably, 10 or 12 new shows every week. And a lot of them don't make it into my regular rotation. So if I'm listening to you on a regular basis, like I'd listen to you every week. And, that's, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass or tell you anything to make you feel good about yourself. It's just the truth.
I was tickled a little bit.
Well, got a cup and lift.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And, but I check out a lot of new random stuff too. And that's one of those things is like certain shows now, I can't do it with every show, but I listen to a lot of stuff at like 1.8 speed, 2 times speed. So a lot of stuff starting to sound like the Chipmunks, but but it's like I know they're putting out something I'm going to enjoy listening to, but it's like I only got so many hours in the friggin' day, and my list of stuff where it's like I don't want to miss an episode. Now it's like I got certain shows I listen to all the time, and that's like maybe about a dozen because one of the other good things is a lot of the release days are staggered. So like I've got like 5 programs I listen to every Monday. I got like 3 on every Tuesday. I got like 5 on every Wednesday. Then Thursdays, like 2 or 3. It's not as big of a day. So that's more like new show day. And then Friday, usually 5 or 6. And then the weekend is Aaron time. Weekend is.
Well, I listen to most of mine. Like I said, I drive 80 miles a day round trip back and forth to work. And
yeah, me too.
Most of the time, I usually use my unit for that. So going to work takes me about 45 minutes. So I can usually get one in on that. On the way home, it's going to be an hour or longer. So I can get one. That depends on, on rainy, nasty days, I'm working in my unit. And I'll listen to stuff while I'm driving around and stuff like that. When I'm on my motorcycle, not so much. I like to concentrate on what I'm doing. I don't want to get run over again. But
yeah.
I know whenever yours come out, and I'm not blowing smoke either, and I'm not lying to anybody. When Aaron's comes out, I see it pops up in my feed. I'm like, I listen to him on Apple Podcast, and I'll listen. When I see his pop up, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna listen to Aaron's right there. But there's like some. I mean, there's some big names out there like I do have in my stuff that I listen to, but sometimes it takes me a while to catch up. I'm still not up to date. I listen to Dan Bongino and and Glenn Beck and Matt Walsh. I listen to a lot of the political stuff like that. I know my wife listens to a lot of the true crime stuff, but there's a couple. There's a couple police ones I listen to, and I'm not saying their names. There's some other policemen out there, police law enforcement type podcasts that I've tried to listen to, and I just couldn't do it no more. Because I'll be honest, I've been doing this almost 30 years, and when I'm listening to somebody with a podcast that's not a cop no more, that's got a whole 7 years experience trying to explain law enforcement to people, I'm just like, yeah, what the fuck ever. I'm like, you're still a rookie. And didn't even, you're not old enough to retire. You only did 7 years, so why aren't you a cop anymore? So, I don't know. Come listen to me. I've been doing it 30 years.
Yeah, that's... I'm kind of the same way. I've listened to a few, and like I said, I got my routine, and then I honestly, I said the weekends are for Aaron, but that's a lie. Let me be honest. Weekends are for Mama. She tells me what we're doing on the weekends. That's fixing stuff around the house. That's going to the grocery store. That's running errands. That's washing the dog. That's doing whatever the hell it is she says that usually does not involve me listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
Now, occasionally I'll get a pass. I like if I know we're going shopping and we're going to be gone for 2 or 3 hours, I've started bringing my headphones with me, and I'll walk around behind her pushing the cart and nodding my head periodically so it looks like I'm paying attention. And yep, sure, And then I hope whatever it is I'm listening to doesn't make me laugh or something, because then I'm busted.
What are you doing? His head spins around, stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you listening to another podcast? No, I'm on the phone. Well, Dad says hi.
I was in an especially bad mood today because of the whole air conditioning thing. Me spending money on air conditioners I wanted to buy tires with and stuff like that. And, of course, I've been venting to the wife because, she's the wife. She's the best friend. She's there. She's the one that gets it. And today we were out getting this stuff, and she's like, you're on my last nerve. Why don't you shut the hell up? We stopped at Arby's drive-thru, which I know is not the healthiest, but we're freaking hungry and been working all day. And it's like cooking or nothing. So I asked the girl in the drive-thru if they accepted used wives for, trade on food. And the drive-thru girl said no, that the freezer's filled up with husbands already. So she had a good sense of humor. But I've been on a rant today. I mean, I got in a bad mood because I had to go buy window units, and I wanted tires for my car. I just want to drive my car. I can't. My tires are on the back of my car, my POV. It's my personal vehicle, and I can't drive it because the tires are too bald.
Oh, they're slicks. And
my car does not have a spare tire. So if I go somewhere that's getting flat, I got to call a tow truck. And it's just
yeah.
So the tires for my car, they're supposed to have run flats. I don't drive it enough to put run flats, but the tires, if I replace the original tires on it, it's like $600 a tire, and I'm just not going to do that. But I wanted tires for my car. I'm looking at me, I'm crying about the tires on my car.
Yeah. That's one of those signs, I guess.
I just want rubber.
I need to lay some rubber, darling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like I said, that's on my list too. I'm gonna go as thrifty as possible because I still got way too many projects around the house that I started because of COVID that are mostly done. Like the house is livable, but like we replaced the floors, but I haven't put any of the trim back down yet.
Well, I'm just looking at you in your basement. I'm just looking at you in your basement, and I think basements are cool because I've grown up all my life basically in Louisiana, and we don't have
basements.
We can't. We call those swimming pools.
Yeah,
we are below sea level. When we dig shit in the dirt, it usually fills up with waters.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Kind of like we were just talking. We were talking before we started recording. I mean, they're at a balmy 70 degrees where he lives. I mean, that's like winter. I mean, we hit 92 degrees today with freaking humidity that you wouldn't believe.
And the funny thing is, you say 70 degrees like it's winter. I had the windows down when I was coming home. I had my sunglasses on. I was jamming out. I was like, y'all act like that's cold.
No, that's actually very comfortable. But
yeah,
it's like, no, I had a rain suit on coming home because I came home on my motorcycle and praying to God. I was like, God, I hope it don't rain because my feet are going to get wet. My sock, I just don't feel like getting wet this afternoon. Of course, there's a good chance tomorrow. I'm going to do about 16 hours tomorrow doing escorts, and I think it's a 40% chance of rain tomorrow. So there's a good chance I might get a little wet there. So,
man, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
It's gonna be a long day. My buddy is tailgating, so I'm sure he'll be cooking. He didn't tell me what he's cooking this time. I'm hoping they go with a pastelae or something. They haven't done a pastelae yet, so I'm really hoping they do that. They did a jambalaya one of the games, and they did some pork chops and stuff the last game. I'm hoping they do some pastelae or something.
That'd be good.
In his black iron pot.
Yeah.
The funny part is with the hurricane, with the linemen and stuff that just came down, replacing all our electricity lines. There's a lot of people, a lot of Yankees come down from up north. And it was funny because one of them was talking, and some wife got on Facebook. They had made some Facebook group. She's like, I don't know what y'all going to do, but my husband keeps talking about all the food and stuff down there in Louisiana. She says, I don't know where to get one of them Louisiana cauldrons at. I said, it's a cauldron, like it's a big witch's brew. And it was funny because she says, I did learn, my husband did tell me that locals use Tony Sassery season, and visitors use Slap Your Mama. And if you ever buy somebody a Sonic drink, that's saying that I love you.
Yeah. Although I like both. I like Tony's and I like Slap Your Mama. Depends on what I'm doing.
We kind of use Tony's for everything.
Well, yeah. But no, because they got two different kinds of Slap Your Mama too, though.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that.
They got salted get the red, and non-salted.
Yeah, but you got to get the red one. Don't get the yellow one. Get the red one.
get the green can of Tony's.
Yeah, and the green can of Tony's. I I got one of the industrial size green cans of Tony right now. Well, actually, I should say I probably got about a quarter of an industrial size green can of Tony's. I gotta go grocery shopping again.
They sell that up there?
Amazon, brother. You can get anything on Amazon.
Okay. I was just checking. I mean, like they sell it in those grocery store.
Well, you can get the mild Tonys at the grocery stores around here, but it's in the specialty spice section.
Oh, special. That's just like normal shit here.
Yeah, no, it's
like Tabasco sauce.
Oh yeah, that's another one I got. That's another one of those things I get in trouble for, because if I see something that looks cool, I will buy it just to try it. So I've got probably 15 or 20 different bottles of hot sauce in my cabinet right now. And I got like 5 different flavors of Tabasco that I don't think they even make a couple of them anymore, but like I went to trade shows and stuff and they're like, "Here, sample our new product." And I'm like, "Sweet honey chipotle Tabasco. That sounds good." I don't think that one ever even made it to the shelves.
Well, what's funny down here, it's like they take kids on, they take younger kids on field trips and stuff. One of the places they bring the kids to field trips from the schools is to Avery Island, where they make Tabasco sauce. That's like a field trip for the kids to the Tabasco plant.
I'd go on that. I entered a contest to get to go to Avery Island. So.
That's a field trip.
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple of years back. They were doing a recipe competition through Tabasco, and it was like, if you're one of the winners, one of 10 chefs will be selected to go to Avery Island and participate in making blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm going to do that. And then my wife, being a little more practical than me, she's like, "Is there a prize?" I'm like, "Well, no, you get to go to the Tabasco place and watch them make Tabasco sauce, and you get to eat dinner with all these famous chefs." And she says, does it say cash value of the prize? I'm like, yeah. She goes, "Okay, you got to pay taxes on that, dummy." She's like, "You're entering a contest to pay money to go have dinner at the Tabasco factory." I was like, yeah, pretty much. So, do they buy you a plane ticket?
Nope.
No. So you're paying money to go to the Tabasco factory to have dinner, and you got to pay to go to Louisiana. I was like, yeah. You don't see the problem here.
No prize for you.
Sometimes she's a little more grounded than I am.
All right, that's going to be the first part. I hope y'all enjoying it. You can hear it's like just 2 guys shooting this shit. I think we forgot we were recording at one point. We were just talking. Sometimes I feel like that's a better podcast. But come back Wednesday. Me and Holster will be here. Got in the news, there is a plan, if nothing gets messed up, for a bonus extra one on Friday night, which will be live, something I've been wanting to do for a while. We were talking about it today. And if you get a chance, go listen to Aaron on I Had to Say It. He's on all the podcast platforms and stuff. Come back next Sunday for part 2. Part 2 is about, it's a little bit under an hour, so it's not as long. It's just us bullshitting, him telling stories, me telling story. Just 2 guys bullshitting. So come back Wednesday, come back Friday, and come back Sunday. It'll be a busy week. Remember, if you want to be a guest, email me. It's the best way to get me. If you have a story you want me to tell, email it. Hit me up on Facebook. Like I said, I'm always looking for guests. If you listen on Apple, leave a 5-star review, write us a review. I appreciate that a lot. It helps with the algorithm. YouTube, Facebook. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Hit the little bell. Watch the live videos. Try to help us get bigger. And like I always say, watch your back, watch your partner's back, and remember to smile, because Iceman could always be behind you.